This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. This is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we are here to go over minute number 95 today. And we're joined again by Mr. John Robert Wilson of the Fifth Element podcast. John, thank you so much for meeting back up today, man.
Thank you so much for having me, you swashbuckling heroes.
Damn, I like that.
That's good.
That was pretty good. Did you work on that beforehand, or
yeah,
that's just straight off the brain?
About an hour or two before I came onto the podcast.
Yeah, you're just hustling back. Did you tell me that you were on the subway earlier?
Yes.
Trying to get back to your place because Crystal has like some recording that she has to do as well.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, that's the wonderful life of a podcaster is like sharing recording space.
Yeah, you've gotta move around the movies by minute Maven schedule. You know, it's all about her.
Well, it's my pleasure for sure. But I tell you what, with that said, you guys want to go ahead and get into minute number 95?
Let's do it.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff is happening.
In the previous minute, Sloth had saved all of the Goonies, giving them a chance to jump off of the ship and swim to the shallow area of the cave. Francis and Jake tried to outsmart Sloth by tying him up, but failed when Sloth threw both of them across the deck. At minute 95, Sloth triumphantly rips off his shirt, revealing an undershirt with the Superman emblem on it. Jake and Francis now realize they're in over their heads. And thus ends minute 95 of the Goonies. All right, so in this minute we get something that I think it's cute, but it is so dated, it is so self-indulgent, that it's almost ridiculous, and that is when Sloth tears off his shirt to reveal the Superman shirt underneath. You get the Superman theme motif, and it's almost like Richard Donner saying, "Hey, everybody, remember that thing I did a few years ago? That was so awesome." And you know, Sloth points at the S and tries to insinuate that it means sloth.
It's so out of place.
It's just so out of place.
It really is out of place and sophomore as far as I'm concerned, but cool also.
But it's cool also. I would almost forgive it if it wasn't for the John Williams music cue, the Superman music cue. That's just like what really drives the self-indulgent nature of it.
It is
for me.
very narcissistic, no question about that.
Do you think this was kind of ham-fisted in?
I don't know. I mean, Donner is the only person who would have clearly lobbied for this. I doubt Spielberg or Chris Columbus were like, "Hey, man, let's hook you up with this little reference we want to do to your other movie."
Yeah.
And audiences at the time, I'm sure, were, loved it. But can you imagine that happening in a movie today? Like, I can't.
Oh man, no way.
No way.
Yeah, not even in a movie where it might have worked.
Hey, how about if you go into, it's just a regular action movie, and then you go into a museum and you see skeletons of a Tyrannosaurus, and all of a sudden you hear da 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 da, and then just for a second, dun da dun da 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 da.
Oh gosh,
that would be funny.
That would be. I can't think of any other examples. But hey, that's a good thing because clearly we don't really approve of it here.
Well, DC still owns the rights to the logo, right? The Superman logo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How much money has Hot Topic made by selling shirts like this?
Hot Topic, that's funny.
A good point. Good point.
I mean, I think I even have a Superman shirt like this with the arms cut off.
Yeah, and what's funny is that, what would that be a reference to, Superman or the Goonies? Huh? I'm pretty sure Hot Topic has probably got
that's a good question.
One for each.
Yeah, well, it's a weathered S, so I guess if it's got that artificial weathered look, it's Goonies. If it's brand new, it's DC Superman.
There you go. And you could probably find them both at Target as well.
Now, do you have the sloth mask to go with it? Did they have a? I
think I've seen one.
Have you?
Yeah, but so it would only have one eye, right? Only one spot for the person wearing it.
Yeah. Unless you were exactly like him, and it would fit it perfectly.
It's like, hey, guys, do you want to be part of my sloth Halloween costume? You're like, what do you mean? Sloth was only one person. Well, yeah, but I need one person to kind of follow me around and do the animatronic eye and ear on the side that I need.
What's funny is that so Sloth's makeup for the mask could not get water on it. It could not get any water on it whatsoever. But there was still water getting up onto the ship set.
It was spraying everywhere.
It was just spraying everywhere. In fact, if you look at Ma Fratelli, whenever Sloth goes over to her later, she is soaked. And they couldn't get any water on the mask or whatever. Well, it ended up happening, inevitably, and it had to shut down production by like an entire day or something. So.
And then the eye was working on a delay.
Yeah.
I remember there was like a 4-second delay, or I don't know what the delay was.
They had to count down when they were going to make it blink. It was like, via remote control. I
can't remember. We covered that in one of the minutes, the exact delay that it was. But that's kind of cool or interesting, or if you're actually working in the movie, difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And
that sounds infuriating to work with.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the people controlling it had to say, okay, you're going to blink in 3, 2, 1, and then he would blink. And that's kind of, he had to match the actor had to match his actual, the speed of his eye, his blinking, to how fast it worked out on the mask, on the headpiece. So, just to try and imagine doing that, keeping up with that while playing silly, also playing like sympathetic, also playing scary.
And then having to do a bunch of takes of it, I'm sure.
And then having to do a bunch of takes of it.
And worry about the water.
And worry about the water, and only being able to see out of one eye, and probably not very, very good at that. So,
I don't want to get too far ahead in the minute, but later on in this minute, about 40 seconds in, they do a wide shot of the set that they're on. And it looks like, and I think I mentioned this before, it looks like the kids section of a water park with all the water spraying everywhere and the very, very heavily chemically altered green / magenta water. And I can only imagine, not only is the water spraying up onto the actors, spraying up onto Sloth's mechanical mask, it's probably not even really good water to be on you either. It probably stinks. So it's really humid. Man.
Yeah, and it's probably that recycled, water too.
Chlorinated.
Yeah, continually being recycled, so it's probably nasty.
It probably burns your skin. You get it on you.
Well, that's a nice thought. Thinking about all of that.
I know, man. Let's go to a public pool, everybody.
Yeah, shooting these. Yeah, you're right. Shooting these scenes must have been a huge pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just keeping the set, functioning. I'll have to go and
not
look.
Getting electrocuted
not
either.
Not getting electrocuted, seriously, with all the stage lights right overhead. Just imagine if one of those fell into the water. But
now, one of the interesting scenes to me in this minute are when the brothers are trying to manipulate Sloth.
Right.
And it's interesting. I don't know which one says which, but the first one, I think
Robert Davi says it first.
Yeah, the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah.
And they really didn't go there. And then something about his getting his teeth fixed, and they didn't get his teeth fixed, so one of them could get
he's like,
hair
we didn't get your teeth fixed because we had to go get
the hairpiece.
Francis his toupee.
Like they can't realize they can't get on the same team to be able to
outsmart him,
outsmart Sloth, which is
crazy.
Like
it'd be that hard.
Yeah.
You could say that like they're intentionally saying these things that never happened to just kind of throw him off, but that's not happening. It's just that these guys are that stupid and that uncoordinated. So they really drive home the whole goofy villain thing here at the end of the movie, which works. It's funny.
They're the bumbling blockheads trope that we talked about.
Do y'all find that it's interesting that Andy and Bran, they share a kiss in this traumatic moment?
Yeah.
Because, again, like they tried to kiss earlier in the movie when, to me, I don't care if I was a charged, let's put nicely, teenage boy. In the situation and the fear that was going on, the last thing that I would have been thinking about is kissing with all of this going on. I couldn't have relaxed. If someone's got swords and guns up there, I might be more worried about trying to get the hell out of there. And I'll worry about that after I'm safe. Okay. I don't know.
Hey, you speak for yourself, dude.
Yeah. Now, if I was embracing Sloth, that would be a little bit different. I'd want to plant one on in that sardine breath.
Yeah. Well, you go right ahead.
Every time I open a thing of sardines, and it's been years, the terrible part about it is I think about Sloth and them talking about his sardine breath when Chunk says that. That's one of the most repulsive things ever.
John, one time I had some tuna fish dip or something that I was going to be eating while we were recording, and Chris got in here, got one whiff.
I get angry.
Yeah, he got angry. He left. I was like, whoa, dude, what the hell, man?
My girlfriend tried to eat a tuna sub on an airplane next to me. And it infuriated me.
Yeah.
No.
Like my nose, and I got a big nose. My nose gets offended.
All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to Minute number 95 today. We will be back tomorrow with Minute 96, featuring our special guest this week, Mr. John Robert Wilson. And until then, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies
Never
Never
say
say die.
Perfect.
Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram @GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at Patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pele Media, and follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/Pele Media.